is Jake, and I did a pedal board run through 2 years ago, I think it was at this point, and I just redid my pedal board. I soldered all the audio cables for it. I'm pretty proud of it. It's been a passion project for a long time. So I just wanted to give a quick run through of how I am using this board. It's got an RJM Mastermind PBC6X on it, so that way some of you can get an idea of what my workflow is, and we'll go from there. To start with, this time I'm playing my Gretsch Jet. This is a Power Jet model, and the Power Jet comes with locking tuners. It's got a pin bridge, and it normally comes with TV Jones Powertron pickups. I exchanged the Powertron pickups for TV Classics, so it sounds a little bit more like a classic Gretsch, and this is one of my favorite guitars. I love it so much. So as we go through the pedal board, I will not demo every pedal, especially the ones that were on my last pedal board run through. That's linked below if you want to check that out. But I will give some demos of the new pedals, and most specifically how I'm using the RJM. So without further ado, let's check it out. So my guitar goes into the first of the new pedals, which is my DSM Humboldt Clear Comp. I absolutely love this pedal. It's super sweet. I think it's just a little bit of a clearer compression, meaning I can compress harder without hearing a lot of that noise floor being raised up. So I love this compressor. That's what I plug into. From there, it goes out to the tuner side of this Chernobyl Tone modded volume pedal, and it's got a Sonic Research turbo tuner built into it, and a blue light underneath, and buffers on the volume side and the tuner side. They're super cool, and I don't think he makes them anymore, so sorry about that. So then it comes out of the tuner side, and then it hits the RJM Mastermind PBC6X. So on top, I've got a Pedalnetics bank up and down switch that is helpful for saving some space. And first loop out is my Electro Harmonics Pitchfork, which also has the expression pedal coming out to the AMT expression pedal. So here's my clean tone. And here is what the Pitchfork sounds like. So pretty cool. I throw in a little Benson fuzz for that too. But I love that pedal. It kind of gives like the Digitech whammy vibe. So then loop 2 is the Benson preamp. Loop 3 is the Bondi Effects Sick As Overdrive. Then I start using loops 4 through 6, and I do the split loop function for those. So loop 1 is split. So it's the Rogue rehoused JHS Morning Glory. It's got the high cut switch on the side for easier access, and also the red remote switch is built in. Funny enough, the colors are flipped, so the red is actually this one. This is the high gain mode, and then here's the low gain mode. Then I've got the Bondi Effects Del Mar, which is a pedal I used to have the original run of, and I regretted selling it, so got the new one when it came out. It's an amazing sounding overdrive. Then out of loop, loop 4, loop 5, I've got the Little Green Wonder and the 1981 Drive. And then loop 6, I've got the Benson Germanium Fuzz, which you just heard a little bit of. And then I've got the volume pedal actually in the second half of loop 6, and I have that always on, so I always have my volume pedal after my drives. Then there's the insert loop, which is a stereo insert loop. So I do a mono send out of the PBC6X into the GFI Synesthesia. I went through almost all the main sounds that I use. I've changed a couple of things around, but really it's all the same sounds for the most part in my original rig rundown. So if you want to see what I do with it, feel free to check that out. And then it's stereo return to the Mastermind PBC6X. Then stereo out to my Strymon Timeline. Stereo out to my Strymon Big Sky, which then goes stereo out to my UA Ruby on the left and UA Dream on the right. And underneath, you can kind of see maybe a little bit of the tan, is a Goodwood Audio long line. And that is how I send stereo out XLR to front of house. And that's the whole pedal board. So taking a look at how I'm using the RJM. So the RJM, I've got it controlling my entire pedal board, and it was the main thing that I wanted when redoing this pedal board, because I do like overdrives and I didn't want to have to pick between my small collection, so I figured out a way to get them all on there and control them easily with this. So this is my baseline preset, and I even made a song inside of the RJM so that I have quick access to this. So no matter if I'm using it in setlist mode, I always put my baseline quote-unquote song in there to use, and it helps me to make sure that if I need to access something quickly and spontaneously, that I could do it. And this baseline song is how I was the first thing that I programmed into the RJM, because I didn't want to just be able to do songs in it. I wanted to make sure that if something spontaneous happened, I was ready to go and I could do that. So here's what all those sounds sound like. It's really just overdrive changes, and then I have my timeline and Big Sky up front so that I can control them like I normally would. And when I have the baseline preset on, the insert loop is always open. So my synesthesia, all I have to do is step on it in Stompbox mode to activate any of those effects. So here's clean. Then I've got light drive, which incorporates the Benson preamp. Then I've got, that was the global preset I just turned on. Then I've got the medium drive. I accidentally turned on my global preset. Then mid drive, which is my little green wonder. Of course, it's a green pedal, so it's got the mids. And then last but not least, you've got the lead solo drive, which is my 1981. And then I've got my rhythm drive, which is the Bondi Effects Sick As. I use it for more than just rhythm, but for me, I just think it's so perfect for cowboy chords. I usually, when I turn it on when I'm playing cowboy chords, I don't need to change anything. So that's that. So then I want to show you a song that I built in, and again, this is always open in this baseline song. So that way I can always access those when I want. But I want to show you a song that I'm actually doing this weekend to kind of show you a little more of my RJM workflow. But before I do that, I want to show you my pages, which are active on every preset. So if I hit this function switch, it takes me to all my overdrives. So you'll notice that a couple of overdrives were not included in my presets. And so that way, like the Morning Glory and the Fuzz specifically. So now I can turn them all on. There's the Benson preamp, there's the Sick As, Morning Glory, Little Green Wonder, there's the Del Mar, and here is the 1981 drive. I can hit this function switch again, and it takes me to what I call the sides. So then I've got my fuzz, there's my pitchfork. This switch, I can switch between A and B on the synesthesia. So I can go A and B, and then this is a master tap switch for timeline and synesthesia. And using these two switches, I can bank up and down on the synesthesia. So that gives me complete control of my pedal board when I'm doing spontaneous songs or something I didn't plan for. So without further ado, here is when I'm playing a song. So I just bank down because I always put the baseline song that's the last song in a set just in case I need it. But this song has a bunch of different preset changes, so I thought this was a perfect opportunity to show off what this thing can do. So here is the intro to the first song we're playing this weekend, and I'm pretty excited about it. So one of the things you'll notice is that over here on the Big Sky, this switch turned yellow, and anyone who's used the Big Sky Timeline Mobius knows that if you change a parameter on a preset and haven't saved it, it'll turn yellow. So the reason why it turned yellow is because I am sending changes to this preset to make it a little bit more wet, a little bit longer, or a lot longer of decay. So from the Mastermind PBC, which is super cool for making it so I didn't have to make a whole new song-specific preset. So I click that, this is the intro to that song, and it sounds like this. And you can hear the timing is in because I'm sending MIDI clock from the mastermind as well. And some songs, I've got song-specific presets in there, and for those I don't usually send MIDI clock, but for a lot of songs I'm just taking the presets that I like to use and sending specific things to them to make them fit the song. So I'm sending MIDI clock for my timeline and synesthesia. So then I come over here to the second part of the song, which is the turn. It opens up my synesthesia loop, and it also changes my overdrives where it's the preamp and the Del Mar stacked. So you can hear that sound. Right after that, I go into a verse. So turn off the synesthesia, and it's just the one of my overdrives here. And here's what's cool, is I legit just forgot which overdrive I put on because I programmed this a little while ago, and it's the Morning Glory. So I can see by going to those preset pages, or to those pages, what's actually on. But I programmed all of this, so I know it's the tone that I wanted, so that's all that matters. So then after that, you hit chorus 2, and now I've got my sick-ass overdrive on. After that, there's a little intro to the bridge that only happens for a second, and I've got the octave turned on, and I've got it completely clean, no overdrives on, and here's what that sounds like. Then the bridge actually kicks in. I've got another preset for that, and this has my preamp on. And then we go right back to the chorus, and that's how the song ends. And so that shows you how easy it is to have a lot of different preset sounds and a lot of different abilities to change things around on the fly. And so that's my entire pedal board. Feel free, if you have any questions, to slide into that comment section, and feel free to ask any questions. I've got my old pedal board demo linked in the description, so that way you can see some more sounds that the synesthesia can do. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you next time.